Ultimately, your weight is a result of your relationship with food. Under certain conditions, the relationship is better or worse, harder or easier to be healthy, but in the end, if you want to thrive in life, you're going to do what is necessary to make the relationship work well. Because the alternative ultimately just leads to pain. So let's start with looking at the 7 different types of bad relationships and its traits. Hey there, my name is Jeff and I help all sorts of people improve their bodies and minds to make life even better. To do the best job at this that I can, I practice a variety of disciplines, including couples counseling and weight loss coaching. Now, I found that being trained in and working across a range of different but related fields leads to some powerful insights that are rarely picked up on. So connecting the wisdom of these 2 disciplines in particular, we can learn about good and bad relationships with others and apply that to our relationship with food so that we can permanently change it. Just as there is no perfect relationship, the same goes for food relationships. The best way to understand the food relationship is that it is actually more of a 3-way between you, your body, and food. And understanding the dynamics of these 3 relationships help manage them more powerfully. So stay with me all the way to the end to learn the important aspects of this most important key to keeping the body that you build. Let's get into today's video. Bad relationship type number 1, called rebellious. These types of relationships are fueled by the emotions of rebellion, meaning that you want the other person mostly because you shouldn't. Right? As a teenager, it usually shows up as rebelling against your parents for not allowing you to date in general, or because they're of a different religion or background. It's the old Romeo and Juliet situation. But later on in life, this type shows up where someone's in a committed relationship, but one or the other finds themselves very attracted to someone other than their partner. And the reality is that a key part of this emotion is because they're not supposed to. In a situation where someone actually ends up acting on their attraction and having an affair, often they'll be sneaking around and secretly meeting up whenever they can, yearning to be with each other as often as their hearts desire. But when they actually do break it off, or if they get caught, and it's no longer a secret and they're allowed to be together, the passion actually just drains out of the relationship. It might be fun to begin with, but it inevitably becomes painful to maintain this tension over the long haul. So relating this rebellious type to food, it's a big one. When someone approaches a health kick by banning junk food, it only makes it more tempting and intoxicating. If a partner or a parent or a trainer or a friend is telling them that they shouldn't eat or drink those bad foods, they tend to become irresistible. And even if you do manage to muster the self-control to say no to it at first, often it's only a matter of time before you start rebelling.
Are you eating the cheesecake? I will give you $100 to whistle right now.
When you think about your relationship to your body, when someone's developed a rebellious relationship with their body, they often find themselves yo-yoing in their weight because their only way of knowing how to be motivated is to work against themselves. They start dieting by rebelling against their cravings, which they feel have oppressed them. And when they do lose the weight, they rebel against the diet that they've imposed on themselves because it's become too restrictive. And the weight, the cravings, the restrictions, they're all perceived to be victimizing them. And they're just trying to run away from their repressor. This is a very unfun place to be. It's working against yourself. And when it comes to the aspect of your relationship with you and food, a great insight here is that the way you react to someone else telling you what to do is typically going to be the same way that you react to telling yourself what to do. Communicating with yourself by trying to boss yourself around all the time to do things is a very poor relationship that doesn't promote cooperation. The second type of bad relationship we're going to talk about here is called abusive. The definition of abuse is to use something to bad effect or for a bad purpose. Examples of this would be being cruel or violent in word or deed towards the partner, rarely compromising on anything, and always blaming the other, never taking responsibility for any wrongdoing, demanding they must behave in a certain way to please or appease you, always telling them they need to change and be other than they are, making them feel they're not sufficient as they are. A bit more subtle and hard to see is the abusive relationship where the purpose of being together is just because they can't be alone, rather than genuinely wanting to be with the other because they love one another and expecting the other to be the source of their happiness. Regarding an abusive relationship between you, food, and your body, you might notice some similarities. Misusing food primarily as entertainment, only choosing to or willing to engage with eating if it's pleasurable, demanding that every meal must always satisfy all of your excessive desires, barely willing to compromise or pay attention to the content or the quantity or the timing of the food choices.
Oh boy. Good boy. Oh, what a sweet doggy. Oh.
In regards to your body, not caring enough about how it impacts your body, not respecting your body, being cruel to your body by over-consuming food you know is bad for your health, weight, and mood. In regards to you, blaming your body for the problem and not taking responsibility for the poor choices, berating yourself, belittling and telling yourself off for doing all these things, not accepting yourself as you are, which lowers your self-esteem and your self-worth, rather than supporting your intentions to change and encouraging yourself that would lead to higher self-esteem. The third type of bad relationship we're going to talk about here is called resentful. In these types of relationships, people have developed a subtle bitterness and animosity, a dissatisfaction towards the other, and it oozes out of their interactions with them in all sorts of ways that creates a lot of negativity between them, and it breaks their connection. It typically leading the individuals to avoid working on the relationship because anytime that they try, they feel resentful and just want to avoid them. Regarding a resentful relationship between you, food, and your body, again, you might notice some similarities. Food. You resent trying to eat healthy or make any changes to your diet. You are jaded and bitter eating less or really making any change to how or what you eat. In regards to your body, over the years, you have come to resent your body, how it looks, how it feels, how it reacts to food, what it craves. You don't trust it, you don't respect it. You see it primarily as a source of pain. You become so discontented and frustrated with diets that you have little confidence in your ability to make any changes, even if you wanted to, which affects your motivation to do anything at all. So the fourth type of bad relationship we're going to talk about here is called competitive controlling. In this type of relationship, one or both of the individuals is always trying to control the other and compete for power. Even if one of them continually holds the power, they are typically insecure and need to constantly put the other down and make them feel small so that they stay ahead of them in terms of importance in the relationship. You know, they're always trying to force their will on the other to feel in control, which really just lowers the other's self-esteem and autonomy. Another trait of these relationships is often that they are never comfortable with the other beating them at anything. Just like with power, they must always feel they are on top to feel okay. With food, always trying to be very rigid about what is and isn't allowed and force a diet to happen.
Andy, that's your third order.
I am hooked, Elizabeth. Call me Mr. Lamb Fries.
You polish off that plate and you break the record. 28. That one makes 26.
Stand back, everybody. The record falls tonight.
Look at him go.
29, the new record! And it's still going. I thought that record was gonna last forever. Most folks just don't seem to have a taste for testicles no more.
In regards to your body, this one shows up during the weight loss efforts where they need to constantly beat their results from last week or outperform others and is always comparing their progress to everyone else. And if it isn't working as well for them or their progress slows down, they'll feel like quitting. In regards to you, a part of you feels the need to control and dominate the other to fix the problem. The reality is this never makes you better or be more effective. Number 5, carefree. This one is defined by immaturity, not wanting to commit, not wanting to take responsibility for their choices, only concerned with having fun, not considering the consequence of their choices, of their actions, the things that they say to one another, and how that must feel for the other person to hear. Obviously, a healthy relationship requires both parties to care a lot about everything that affects each other, regardless of how much a bother it is to care.
Excuse me, but I have some concerns about these questions.
Look at that sign up there.
Yes?
Does it say I give a damn?
No.
That's because I don't.
In regards to food, not wanting to commit to a diet, not caring enough about what foods are good or bad, only interested in fun foods. Your body, not caring about the consequences of your diet to the health and vitality of your body in the present and long into the future. Only concerned with feelings in the moment. In regards to you, this one is having total disregard for future you. Not taking responsibility for your food behaviours and thinking about how much it really affects your life is letting yourself down. Number 6 is stagnant. These relationships are characterised by boredom and lack of enthusiasm. You're not unhappy, but you're not happy either. You've become much less connected over the years, and the relationship is mostly routine and convenience-based. You don't put any effort into each other, and you don't really take the time or prioritise to take care of yourselves or the relationship at all. With food, you're not happy or unhappy with your food choices. You don't feel like you overindulge that much on the wrong foods or have massive amounts of your regular foods, so you're not really motivated to make any changes. What you eat is mostly determined by your routine and what is quick and easy.
So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna finish this pizza, and then we're gonna go watch the soccer game. And tomorrow, we're gonna go on a little date and buy ourselves some bigger jeans.
In regards to your body, you have been steadily complacent with your body for years, wishing it were better, but not willing or able to get motivated to do anything about it. You're feeling lost to actually execute any plan. In regards to you, you're not happy with how you look or feel, but can't seem to relate to being any different, to being a person who would care about your body more. So the last one here in the bad relationship section is number 7, the enabler, which is where one or both of the partners facilitate habits or lifestyles that are not helping them. It's like when one wants to quit smoking and the other explicitly or subtly sabotages their efforts and encourages them to continue to smoke, or if they want to start working out and the other keeps telling them to, it's fine to sit there all day on the couch and they don't need to worry. When someone's trying to improve their lives and the other is making it hard by not supporting the change or actively discouraging it and giving them an easy out, they're enabling the problem to thrive in their lives. This is not supporting the health of the other or the relationship. The enabling behaviour is motivated by insecurity about change. The enabler worrying about how much it will impact them. They think that the more that they can keep things the same, the less uncertainty that they have to deal with, and the less they're obligated to do the hard work of improving themselves also. I think unconsciously they're thinking, As long as you don't change, then I don't have to change. And I don't want to change because it's scary and hard and unknown. And I don't know if I can change. So, approaching life based on the fear of change is uninspiring and ultimately unhealthy.
Do you want a bite?
I'm on a diet, but thank you.
No need to lose any weight. You're kidding, right? You look great. Very fit.
You can always be thinner. Look better.
Well, maybe we shouldn't go out to dinner. I don't want to ruin your willpower.
That's all right. I'm not very good at controlling it anyway.
In regards to food, a few good examples of enabling yourself with food are always having junk food in the house, telling yourself it's just for the kids or in case someone comes over, but you seem to end up eating most of it, most of the time. Another one is going out to eat to a place you know is trouble for you, telling yourself you'll be sensible, but when you get there, you're so tempted and seem to always end up ordering the naughty stuff anyway. And then, justifying it, perpetually saying, it's okay, just one more time. I'll start properly on Monday. Or you order sensibly, but you get your partner or the kids to order the chips or other fried goodies, telling yourself you did well not to order them for yourself. But in reality, you end up having plenty of chips every time, essentially having had a serving for yourself in regards to your body. This relationship ignores the needs of your body and what it wants and needs to feel better and improve in your long-term interest. It's only concerned with the satisfaction of your immediate desires. In regards to you, it's an act of constantly sabotaging your efforts by subtly undermining your motivation, by making it okay not to do anything and just remain complacently unsatisfied with your health and well-being. I want to make a quick note here just to make sure you get the most out of watching this before we wrap up. This video is not hoping to shame you into forcing yourself into a healthy relationship with food. I only hope to have shone the light of awareness onto this dynamic that's playing out within us, whether we realize it or not. I believe even just that is valuable to do to improve food relationships. Because when you think about it, if we can't see the dynamic, how could we possibly hope to change it, whether we recognize it or not? Our relationships to ourselves and the elements of our world are the driving force influencing us underneath it all to make the choices that we make. So the first step in solving a problem is simply noticing it for what it is. But the cool thing is that once you become aware of this stuff, your unconscious mind will now be able to wake up in the appropriate moment and point you in the right direction for best outcomes. Okay, that's all we have time for today. I hope this helps. And if you have any requests for a video, be sure to comment down below. And while you're there, you can like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any more content that will help you on your journey to make life even better. I'll see you next time.